Worse for the wicked over in the EFL as League Two action returns this week in a double match week. That's right, with Walsall still leading the charge. Will they be caught this weekend? We're going to get into it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It is match day number, I think, is around about 19. That's right, over in League Two, and we'll get to it in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, League Two, woo, football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right, I think we're at the breaking point of, no, we're getting close to the breaking point, of course, over in League Two, but who, of course, will come out of this midweek action still top of the pops? Well, we'll see in just 1 second. Big shout out to members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are, but we are bringing you bang up to date with the situation over in League Two, and this is it, of course. It is double match week, which means it is, of course, a madness once again. So what we're going to do now, though, is revisit last round of games and, of course, bring you bang up to date with all that kind of jazz. So here we go. Kicking on back to the last round of games, which were a little bit away. I've got to do a little bit of jiggery pokery right here, right now. So, of course, my predictions are on the left-hand side. The real deal is on the left. That's right. I'm just going to bring the table forward there. There we go. So, kicking it all off with a trip to Grimsby as they lost to Tranmere. Good discretion me. Big win for Tranmere on the road. Stanley with a 1-0 win of Oldham. I went with a 2-1 win. MK Dons 2-1 winners of a Fleetwood. Got that one close to the mark. Notts County with an away win over Bristol Rovers. Got that one also close to the money. Cambridge 2-1 winners of a Crewe. I went with the draw. Colchester did beat Cheltenham 2-0. I went with the 1-0. It was all square between Barnet and Harrogate. 1-0 for me. Meanwhile, Swindon with an away win over Chesterfield. Newport County and Barrow all square. Got that one close. Salford with a 7-goal threat. A 4-3 in the end over Crawley. Again, got that one close to the mark. Shrewsbury and Gillingham 3-3. I went with a 1-1. And Walsall did beat Bromley 3-1. I went with a 2-0. Ain't too shabby. That's right. The table is over here, guys, as you see it. It is Walsall. It is Swindon. It is MK Dons. Any one of those three could be our leaders at the end of this coming match week here. And the race to the playoffs is really wide open. All the way down to 13th right now. Could be in the playoffs at the end of this match. They're going down. It's Newport County and probably one other, but it is getting a little bit congested down there with the likes of Bristol Rovers, Cheltenham, Shrewsbury, Crawley, still not in the out of the woods just yet. I did promise you guys. I did promise you this, and I didn't get it. I haven't delivered. I've not delivered. Double match week. It was a bit of a mad week for me last week, but I'm going to bring you bang up today. I will very, very soon, because on the horizon, it's just going to get even crazier for me. I'm on my travels. So we're going to get closer to this then, shall we? Of course, double match week. How about that? Looks a bit more pretty, doesn't it? Right in the centre. We're going to Colchester, Gillingham. This coming match day. It's coming at you on the 6th of December. That's already happened. It's already taken place. And it was a 0-0 draw. Haha, surprise, surprise. Let's get into the next one then. Of course, it was FA Cup weekend. A lot of games involving League Two clubs last time around. But Colchester and Gillingham had the night off, so they played their game, of course. So, the other games, including Barrow hosting Tranmere in a bit of a Northwest crunch clash. Andrew Wing's boys are 18th right now, winless in the last 5 right now. Tranmere on the flip side, just one defeat in the last 5. They're up to 15th with 23 points coming at you. They had last played at this venue. They had played earlier in the season in the EFL Trophy Northern, resulted in a 2-1 away win for Tranmere. In fact, Tranmere unbeaten the last 3. Of course, last time they played in the league at this venue, 0-0 it was last season, where, of course, both matches ended up all square. Barrow on the back of a penalty shootout loss to Wigan. They crash out, of course. Fleetwood knocking Tranmere out of Fleetwood Football League Trophy, so they were not in action. Doesn't look like in the FA, unless they're playing today. I don't know. I don't even know. But the bookies for this one, they are going to back Barrow, but just. I've gone with the 1-0 win as well, leading on Barrow for the double. Let's go to Bromley then as they take on Crawley. Come at you. Andy Woodman's lads are still flying high in 5th right now. 3 wins, 3 defeats in the last 6. If it's Crawley and Scott Lindsay, winless in the last 4, just 1 win in the last 6. They are 19th with 17 points. Coming at you, Bromley on the back of a 3-1 loss to Walsall. Of course, Crawley on the back of a 4-3 loss to Salford. That was back on the end of November there. Of course, bookies for this one leading towards Bromley. Bromley are flying. Crawley are struggling. Going to stick with that as well. 2-1 winners for me. Bromley taking the points in the game, moving it on. Cambridge against Chesterfield. The battle of the season. That's right. Neil Harris's lads are in 7th right now. In playoff contention. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Winning 3 of the last 4. Up against Chesterfield and Paul Cook. They've dropped down to 10th right now with 28 points without a win in the last 4. Just 1 win in the last 6. 3 defeats on the spin for Chesterfield. Last time they played, of course, was at this venue 2-1 winners. It was for Cambridge back in October 2017. Coming into Chesterfield losing to Doncaster in the Cup. Cambridge squeaking past Stockport in a ding-dong classic penalty shootout victory to to send them through into the next round. Bookies for this one leaning towards a Cambridge side who are looking good right now. I've gone with an away win here. Chesterfield upsetting the Apricot, get back to winning ways and maybe challenging for the playoffs alongside Cambridge. Let's go to Barnet as they take on Bristol Rovers. Barnet under Dean Brennan, draw specialist, drawing 5 of the last 6, 4 in a row. 14 for the table, 25 points for them. Up against Bristol Rovers and Darrell Clark. He must be on borrowed time. Just the one win in the last 5. They're 21st, 17 points for them. They played each other 16 times since 2004. Bristol Rovers winning 7 of them. Barnet 5. There's been 4 draws. They last played, at this venue. It was in the league, should we say. 1-0 winners it was for Barnet back in January 2016. Barnet 4 successive draws, drawing at home against MK Dons, following on from 2 away draws against Cambridge and Gillingham, and then most recently here against Harrogate. Bristol Rovers are losing to Port Vale in the Cup. They crash out. Bookies will back Barnet. I'm going to back Barnet for another draw. That's right, to make it 5 of the bouts. A point in the bag for Bristol Rovers. Let's go Fleetwood Town as they take on Salford. It's coming at you over at Highbury. Fleetwood under Pete Wild. They are 13th right now. 26 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Salford under Carl Robinson. They are 8th. They're 29 points. 3 wins, 3 defeats in the last 6. They last played at this venue. 2-2 it was back in October 2024. Fleetwood knocking out Luton Town in the FA Cup to get into the round 3. Salford doing business against Luton Orient. 4-0 winners in the end. Comfortably done. In fact, they're fresh off the back of a 7-2 loss to Rotherham in the Football League Trophy. So a lot of goals, a lot of drama. In fact, if we add those games up in all 3 competitions, League, Football League, Trophy and FA Cup, the amount of goals that Salford have witnessed between those 3, I mean, it's a calculation. Is it 14, 80, 20 goals in the last 3 matches combined. Absolutely bedlam here. Bookies for this one, they'll back Salford for the victory on the road. I've gone with the hosts here, Fleetwood Town, of course. A lot of drama, a lot of chaos at the moment for Salford right now with all that mayhem. Harrogate Town against Accrington, Stanley coming at you. Harrogate Simon Weaver's in charge, 23rd in the table, 16 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Accrington, Stanley, John Doolan, they are 17th right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6 as well. Last time I played at this venue was a 2-1 win for Harrogate back in March 2025. They're unbeaten against Accrington over the last 3. Coming into this, though, on the back of a 4-2 win over Blackpool. Goodness gracious me, to keep them in the Cup. Knock the Tangerines out. Stanley crash out to Mansfield. Bookies for this one. They're going to back Accrington on the road here. I've gone with a 0-0. Can't separate these 2 sides for me. Let's go into Notts County as they take on MK Dons. Coming at you over Notts County, Martin Patterson's in charge. They are 4th right now, 31 points, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against MK Dons under Paul 1, they are 3rd, 32 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. This is airtight at the top of the table. Last time they played at this venue, it was a 3-0 win for Notts County back in April 2025. They did the double at MK Dons last season, back-to-back clean sheets as well. Notts County on the back of a 1-0 win over Bristol Rovers. MK Dons knocking out Oldham to continue their journey into the round 3 drawing. Bookies for this one, it's a tight one. They lean towards Notts County. I've gone with the 2-1 win as well for Notts County, which would see them leapfrog MK Dons in the trophy and in the league, should we say. Shrewsbury, Grimsby coming at you. Michael Apton's boys are 20th with 17 points right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against Grimsby and David Artell, just 1 win in the last 5 for them. They sit 12th right now, 26 points for them. And of course, coming at you, having played Shrewsbury last round at this venue, lost 1-0. Shrewsbury picking the W up back in December 2015. That was also in the FA Cup. Speaking of FA Cup, Grimsby putting 4 past Wealdstone. They're in the drawing, as are Shrewsbury knocking out Sutton in a bit of extra time to get them through. Bookies for this one, they're going to lean towards Grimsby. It's a tight one. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win as well for Grimsby. Shrewsbury still struggling at the moment, and it looks like it'll be a long old season. Last game of the day is at Swindon. High Flyers table 2nd place at Swindon. Unbeaten now in the last 6, winning 3 on the bounce. Up against Cheltenham and Steve Cotterill, they've won 3, lost 3 over the last 6, and they are sitting in 22nd spot right now with 17 points. They last played at this venue as a 3-3 thriller way back in March 2025. Swindon on the back of that 4-0 win over Bolton, knocking them out of the Cup. Cheltenham squeaking past Buxton 6-2 in a bit of a to-and-fro match. Also to go in the round 3 drawing. Swindon were favoured for this one by the bookies. I've gone with a 3-1 win as well. And that, of course, pushed them closer to the top, depending on what goes on in Walsall's match. We'll get to that one shortly. Crewe against Newport County coming at you at Gresty Road. Lee Bell's Crewe are 11th, 27 points for them. Winners in the last 4 matches. Up against Newport County, winners in the last 5 under Christian Fuchs now. They're 24th, rock bottom with 12 points. Last time they played each other at Gresty Road resulted in a 3-0 win for Newport County, who did the double over Crewe last season and looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce against them. Crewe got knocked out by Stockport in the Football League Trophy a couple games back, or a couple of days back. Meanwhile, Newport County Focused on Barrow, missed midweek last week and had a bit of time to prepare for this game. Bookies for this one, they're going to have actually Newport are taking on Bromley in the Cup today as of recording here, so and expected to lose. Goodness gracious me. As for this game, Crewe expected to win. Gone with a 2-1 win as well for Crewe, as Newport County continue to struggle. Then finally, we go to Oldham against high-flying Walsall. That's right, Oldham under Mickey Mellon, 16th for the table, 23 points for them, just 1 win in the last 5. Up against Walsall, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Looking okay at the top of the table. They last played at Boundary Park. It was a 3-1 win for Walsall back in October 2021. It was in League Two. Oldham on the back of that 3-0 loss to MK Dons. They are out of the cup. Walsall are through to the Football League Trophy. Of course, they're taking on Gateshead today, also in the FA Cup. Bookies for this one, they're going to lean towards, it's tight. It is very, very tight. In fact, they're not even touching it with a barge ball. They can't separate the two sides. And I think I've gone there as well. I've gone with a 2-0 away win for Walsall. That's right. And if I'm right, guys, this is what the table will look like at the end of this match day. It'll look a little bit like this. Of course, Walsall still top of the pop. Swindon in second. Notts County go up to third. Going down, it's Newport, it's Cheltenham. It's still pretty much airtight at the bottom and in those races for those players. But that is what I've got for you. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash the like and come back next or later on in the week. Double match week. We've got all the drama, all the chaos right here at Blackburn Overseas.